Build paradise, not a prison.
Embodied business.
Welcome back to the Embodied Business Show. I'm sitting here with one of my favorite people in the world. You've probably heard his name a million times on this podcast. He's already been an extremely powerful guest, but we're in person today. And not only are we in person, we've been spending the last couple of months together going super, super deep. So please welcome to the show my mentor, Preston Smiles.
Blup, blup, blup. Rastafari. Hello, Casey, and Australian awesome women all over the world who are doing business and doing the damn thing. I would like to start. I know it's your podcast, but let me start.
Okay.
I want to start by acknowledging you and all that it's taken to be in a position where you can offer this type of gift to these beautiful women.
Thank you.
It is not for the faint of heart, and it is not necessarily an easy thing to navigate your divine, sacred feminine and tune into that killer masculine that directs and gets shit done, and have both of those exist in one place. And you do quite well at that. You don't just look feminine, you are it, and you get shit done and you make shit happen. And it's really cool.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I will also say that's a huge testament to a lot of the work that we've done over the last almost decade. So thank you back at you.
Yes.
You have held such a big space for me over the last year, not just me, but my family, my partner, the whole piece. And so to have you on here and to really pull apart you as a man, what you create, how you've built the business that you've built and all those things, I just think is going to be super powerful for a lot of people.
Thank you.
And I think in light of acknowledgement, I really want to acknowledge like just how authentic you have been through that whole process with me. Like I've worked for you. I've literally you've helped me build my business to create what we've created. And there's been so much magic that I've witnessed, and I've watched the highs and the lows, and your authenticity has always stayed number one. So just seeing you in that.
Thank you. That's a big compliment. You know, I pride myself, and I hope everybody else listening, build paradise, not a prison. I wanted to contort and make it look like the popular kids who have it figured out. And yes, success does leave clues, but each and every one of us is a unique emanation, a divine snowflake. And your job is to figure out what your snowflake, your tree, your flower wants to do, how it wants to smell, how it wants to dance, how it wants to look in the wind, and do that on purpose. And I very early in my career saw that there were sort of two roads, and I could go down this sort of fake road, or I could just build something that felt good for me and be okay with that. And I chose that one, and I'm so glad I did. And so for you to recognize that, one of the biggest indicators of true success is the back of the house looks like the front of the house.
Yeah.
Right? Like what you see on camera is who this person is behind the scenes. And that's not necessarily true, especially for this industry.
Yeah.
A lot of people just fake to try to get money and likes and popularity, but they're not actually who they say they are fully.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And, that brings me to a memory. I remember when you first bought your huge mansion of a house that we all love. And we'd come over last year to visit you guys, and you were giving us a tour. You just moved in, and you looked at me, and it was the most humbling moment, I think. I don't even know if you remember this, but you looked at me and you were like, can you believe I did this helping people better their lives? You were like, this was created from me following my heart. And it was like a little kid. You were so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it feel to sit where you sit now?
It's fucking cool. It's really beautiful because, we all watch movies and television shows and we root for the underdog, and many of us see the Kardashians and the Andrew Tates of the world and we go, but they were rich kids and they got hooked up and they got I was not none of those things.
Yeah.
I was a throwaway kid. I was the ugly friend. I was the least smart kid in the room. And for me to be here, loving myself, loving my family, just being in deep gratitude for the gift that I get to give and the support I get to put forward to help people experience and live theirs, it is so humbling and beautiful. And I also recognize that that's a part of my dharma. Yes, I'm supposed to help people with technique and understanding all the different things and ways to grow their businesses and step out as a coach. And it's to be a demonstration of what is possible.
Yeah.
Right? Just to be something to look at and go, if he can, I can. Right?
You definitely have been that for me. You've held that torch for me for years now. So yeah. I think my favorite thing though is like, you know, your willingness to try on new things. Okay. And I want to talk about this because one thing that I see a lot with my clients and with the women that come into my world, they're like, I've got to get it right. I've got to stay here and I've got to do the thing and I've got to make sure everything's perfect. And, you know, I've heard you over the last like maybe, you know, 3 or 4 years, you've changed like your offerings, you've done what you needed to do and you've gone where you've needed to go.
Yep.
How is that available for you? Because the reason why I asked that, just to give a little bit more context as well, is like we're told one offer, we're told one niche, we're told do it this way. And look, I'm guilty of doing this because I know it's worked for me to have the one offer and go really deep with it. And I also know that not everyone works like that. So when it comes to my clients, I'm willing to play with where they need to go.
Yes.
Why does it work like that for you, do you think?
I think we're dynamic humans and there are formulas and things that do work. But the question is does it work for you and your essence and your soul, right? Like even look how I'm dressed. I'm a colorful human. I like variety. I like what I like. Yeah. And again, prison or paradise. You have a choice in any given moment. And there is something beautiful about sticking to, right? Like in some ways, I like to switch things up and X, Y, and Z. It's just me evolving. Yeah. But what I haven't switched is my love for my wife. What I haven't switched is the part of me that will build anything for my family. Yeah. And so it just depends on how you're seeing what you're building. And for me, all of this is art. It's all art. It's sacred theater. And my job is not to be caught in it in such a way that it becomes an illusion and deceives me into thinking that this is the value. But to dance and play in it while recognizing what's actually real and true, which is if you feel genuine love for yourself, if you feel genuine love for another, you create memories with that other. You fight with that other. You dance with that other. You sing with that other. That is life. When it's all said and done. This is Will Smith was on a podcast like a year ago, and he said, I wish everybody could have everything they've ever wanted. Because once you get all the things, then you realize, okay, well, what am I going to do now? Yeah. Who am I now? What am I put on this planet to do, be, and have now? Because I got it all, right? Drive all the fast cars, get the biggest house, do all the things. And then what's left over is the pitter patter of kids running down the hallway. What's left over is the moment watching White Lotus with Alexi in the bed, and we're like, "Oh my God!" Right? It's that. Yeah. Right? It's surfing the wave, on the back of the boat with the music playing. It's Burning Man on MDMA, screaming at the top of our lungs, "What is his life?" Right? It's Bridge. It's those moments in Bridge where that asshole that nobody thought we could break, we just break through. We're like, there's your heart, motherfucker, right? It's that. That's life. And
I want to point out something too, because your life is not exactly little in terms of who you've called in. I had Alexi on the podcast just a couple of weeks ago. She spoke about the fame and how she had her own realization with she thought that was it as a young woman. And then she realized, okay, maybe my heart's somewhere else, and followed a different journey. And along that journey, she met you. Yep. What was it like coming into contact with a woman who knew where she was going, knew what she was actually creating in the world?
Good question.
And how did you experience that as a man?
Yeah, so let me give you a little bit of backstory. When I met Alexi, I was broke. I did not know that this career even fully existed. And all I knew was that I could not ignore the part of me that was super into transformation, spirituality, personal development. Yeah. That was just here. All the other stuff, the how it's going to happen, how much money you're going to make, none of that. Yeah. Then I meet this woman who's super clear, locked in, owns a house, has a bunch of money. Like she's like, I'm going. And I'm like, let's find out, right? Yeah. And it was so beautiful and cool because there's two types of guys. There's guys that want to build the castle, figure it all out, and invite the woman in. Yeah. And there's the guy that says, well, she's here. Whoever's here, let's build together. We'll figure it out together. Yeah. And we'll have the kids, we'll have the adventures, and we'll do it together. And I'm more in that camp. Yeah. Where, because I had a very strong, powerful Virgo mother and a very strong, powerful sister, I already had a sensitivity towards powerful women where I'm like, cool, like I can exist around powerful women and still be in my body and be in my sovereignty. And so it was slightly challenging, but mainly inspiring. And for all women out there who are thinking to yourselves, I'm getting the career, but I don't want to intimidate a man. The intimidation has less to do with your money and your career and more to do with, is there space for him? And the beautiful thing was that Alexi had space for me. She allowed herself to be influenced by me. And there's worldly success. And then there is spiritual success. There's emotional success. And I had in spades spiritual and emotional success. Yeah. I was so free and vibrant and alive. I still am, but like I was bing, right? So there's something about her that saw that in me and was like, yo, this dude's got red cowboy boots on. He's skateboarding and surfing. He just trusts that the universe has got his back. Like what is going on here, right? And I brought my art to her and she brought her art to me and those things became something. And we're still on that ride and it's been ridiculously awesome. Like she's the big key in all relationships, in my opinion, is allowing yourself to be influenced by your partner. And that's relationship, even with my kids, right? I let them influence me. And yesterday, Zai has been watching this movie called Dog Man, and he got the book. He got the comic book. And I was busy doing something, and he was like, Daddy, well, come see my book, Dog Man. I want to show you something. And I was like, oh, right? But I'm like, no, I'm going to let him influence me. Yeah. So I went and sat on the ground with him, and he was turning the page back and forth because it looks like stop motion. And he was like, look at this. And he kept turning the page, and I was like, yes, bro, yes, let's go. And I just allowed myself to dive into the joy he was experiencing. And I think that's the key to all healthy relationships. Yeah. Right? It's not like I'm better because I have more money or I'm this because I'm X, Y, and Z. Like we influence each other. Yeah. I think that's been one of my biggest learnings, especially working with you guys. And, my masculine has been like, things have to be a certain way and fucking like, and the more that I've actually allowed his energy to penetrate me, we've both co-created so differently. Like there's been literally like hundreds of thousands of dollars that's just gone, here you go. And then there's been this, wow, I'm getting excited and stuttering my words. But then there's also been infertility that's been cured. There's been all these other things that have happened because of that. And when you speak about like freedom from within, like that for me, that's the piece. It's like every time I look at my son, I'm like, oh, that was because of the healing that we did. Facts. Like that's the little miracle that gets to be in my life every day. Correct. Yeah. Right. I'm curious to know, like, because everyone looks, and I know I myself have pedestaled you guys for years. And I also, as you should, because we're fucking awesome. No, but like, there's a level of like family with you. It's not just pedestaling. It's like I look at you because I'm like, fuck, there's so much in their truth. Like I know that whatever they say, it's actually they're living and breathing it. Because I know you guys behind the scenes as friends as well. And for people who sit there and they're like, I want a conscious relationship, so then my business works. Yes. Yeah. I would love for you to put your spin on what does it actually mean for a conscious relationship and to be in collaboration with that person, because you guys have built a legacy with Bridge and with a lot of the other pieces that you've created together. Like, how do you hold a powerful relationship dynamic as well as business? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, and it's a tricky one, but I'll go as simple as I can. To me, what makes anything conscious is awareness.
Yeah.
Right? How much awareness do I have of my own patterns, how those patterns are playing out, literally how they're playing out, and how willing am I to be in ownership of how my wave, my energy wave, affects you and what we are creating. The third thing, there's the two individuals, and then those two individuals come together and create a third thing. And so, a lot of people desire to call in their one, looking for my man. I just want to call in my partner. Right? And it's awesome. But what they don't know, and I was just coaching someone on the Spiritual Millionaire Academy call 2 days ago, Tuesday, on this. She's like, all I've ever wanted was to find my person. And I finally got him, and I'm totally contorting and fuck, and I'm I hate him. And then I ran back to my mom's house, and she's telling the story, and I'm she's like, what do I do? How do I fix this? And I said, unfortunately, you don't. You're fucked. It's going to get worse. That's the point of the relationship. The point of the partnership is to reflect all the places where you're still hiding.
Yeah.
Literally, sometimes we hide from joy, from celebration, from creation. Each partner stands in proxy for the hugs you didn't get from your mom, for the betrayals that occurred with your dad, for the molestation, the rape, and the abuse that happened in childhood and going into adulthood. All of that, your partner stands a proxy for that. And so when we sign up to we say we're calling in the one, we are calling in the one to destroy us. We are calling in the one to destroy everything that is not rooted to the truth of our being. It is like a beautiful, nasty ass storm that comes through and wrecks all the branches that are slightly broken and dead. And most people want to skip that process. They want to compartmentalize and only have their butterfly wings. But that motherfucking, that caterpillar, it has to let go. It has to die in that chrysalis. It is mushy, it is scary, and it is unknown where it is going, and yet it says yes. So anybody who's calling in their one, please let this land. You are calling in destruction. That's what happened to me.
Yeah, and me. You witnessed the whole process.
Yes, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because this, I remember I was working for you at the time when you guys went through it.
Yes.
I remember one day you were like to me, I'll never fucking coach on relationships again.
Yes, yes.
I remember you said that to me. I'm like, oh, it's really going down in my head. But I knew in that moment you were just in a massive growth portal, you guys. And I'm curious, now that and I see you guys and I've experienced you living literally the complete opposite of that now. What did it take for you to come back from, fuck, I'm at my point of destruction, exactly what you just talked about.
Yep.
To okay, this is the most divine partnership I could ever have called in.
Yes.
And I'm actually available for it.
There's so much to it, but one of the main things I can really catch in hindsight and I caught during the time is that it is a sacred act to choose to love another person for an extended period of time, despite all of the things that person comes with. And it's been easy when we were at our worst, when I was at my worst, I just kept pointing everything at her.
Yeah.
If she was this, all of this would be better. If she did that, the whole thing would open up. I'm so glad she didn't, because oftentimes we attract in a partner the outlawed parts of ourselves that could not be expressed in childhood.
Mm.
And so I was wanting her to validate and hold my fragile male ego and heart while doing it from a wound.
Yeah.
And for her to sign up for that is a sacred act
Yeah.
because it got ugly.
Mm.
Nobody wants to be on the other side of blame. Nobody wants to feel like, this marriage is over because of you.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to feel that. And yet she stood in the fire range and said, put it right here.
Mm.
And so for me, I said this on another podcast and it went viral, but I really mean this. It is an absolute honor to hold her, to love her, to commit to her. Again, you have your child. I have 4 beautiful children. Every time I see those kids, I don't just see the 10 months that she sacrificed her body, her mind, her everything so that I could have those kids. I see now the 13-year-old little girl who, got her period at school and had to figure out how to put tissue and all the different things that women, I'm learning how deep this goes for you guys. And all of the breakups and heartbreak and things she went through to be able to be the type of woman that we could connect. All of that goes into the pot. And then there's all the stuff I've done, the mean things I've said, the sabotaging ways I tried to mess up our relationship because I didn't have the consciousness and the somatic body to hold it as a man because I never got the example. All of that she stood in for.
Mm.
She stood in for all of that and said, I still love you. Fuck. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's big.
Yeah.
It's big. And I see you doing that. I see Urbane doing that. I see you doing it.
Mm.
He sat in my house, what was it, yesterday or the day before? And one of the things we worked on and talked about, because we were talking about imposter syndrome. I said, dude, since I've known you, you have never faltered on how much you love Casey.
Mm.
Tell me how that's an imposter.
Yeah.
Right? Bro, through thick and thin, when you didn't have it figured out, you found a way to figure it out, not just for yourself, but for her. You wanted her to feel proud of you. You wanted to build a house when she wanted a deck, when she wanted a this or that. You went out and grabbed the tools.
Fucking built it.
Yes. When she said, hey, level up with your money game, you went out and found a way to get real estate.
Yeah.
Tell me how that's not a sacrifice. Bro, you are nothing close to an imposter.
Mm.
Both of you.
Yeah.
Have done and leaned in. And to me, that is ridiculous. Out of 8 billion people, for somebody to say, I'll sign up. Hey, you're about to get annihilated by this person over the next 20 years. Who wants to sign up? You're going to get annihilated. Who wants to? Urbane signed up. You signed up. Alexi signed up. Yep, I'll get annihilated. Let's go. I'll also experience the highest heights. Because let me just finish with this. You cannot tell me about up if I don't have a context for down.
Yeah.
You cannot explain left if I've never experienced right. And so a lot of times people sign up because of the Disney version of relationship and they go, oh, I'd like to experience up. What they don't know is they're signing up for down. They're signing up for down, more down than they ever have stepped into.
I remember when we were in it, like literally, I'm like, P, I'm fucking leaving him. Like I'm messaging you, right? And, I remember he said to me, he'd had a conversation with you privately as well. And he'd said something along the lines of like, why does it just keep getting worse? And your response to him, and I obviously know this through the words of him, was like, it's going to keep getting worse until you get to it. And that's the bit that most people dismiss, right? Because they're like, new person, same pattern. New person, same pattern. And, I think the one thing that you really have taught us powerfully as a couple is like, just because the pattern's up and you don't like it right now, that's not the time you leave.
Correct.
The time you leave is when you actually are both in a good place and you're like, okay, maybe we're done here, but not from the wound, because the wound is what repeats it.
That.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on that and why that is so important for people?
Mm-hmm. So, are these fake or real?
I think they're fake.
Yeah, that's fake. But let's just pretend like this is real. All right, we're all pretending like this is real. What's this thing's purpose?
To look pretty.
Yes. Yes. Do you think this thing, if it was real, that it started at this size?
No.
Okay, so then what's its purpose?
To grow.
That.
Mm.
So the question is are we different than the plants? Are we different than the grass? Are we different than the tigers and the elephants and the roaches and the rats and the scorpions? Are we different?
No.
Because if we are not different, then the purpose of this particular dance is to grow and evolve. And so that evolution is guaranteed. The question is how far and deep and wide will the evolution go?
Yeah.
Whoever we come in contact with is a miracle. And they have in the ethers signed whatever contract that said, I will come in and I will break your heart. I will come in and I will love you to the depths of your being. I will come in and I will ravish you sexually and teach you where you can and can't go. I will come in and I will molest or abuse you and teach you the bottom half of pain so that you can coach and support millions of people. Like every single person has a sacred contract with us. Mm. And then there's the person who says, I'll go the deepest. I'll go the deepest with you. And if we run from that person at the bottom, if we run when it's hot in the kitchen, if we run when the seed is on its way to becoming a sapling, then we stunt the growth of that thing. Yeah. And we got to wait another season. But the season is coming. It will not grow. Mm. Or you die.
Yeah.
Some people die at 31 and live till 81. I've seen it all the time. There's a big difference between somebody who's older and somebody who's an elder.
Oh, yeah.
I'm stepping into elderhood.
Yeah.
Right? As a 45-year-old, beautiful chocolate drop. Right? So, all that to say, you've heard me say this, if you're going to break up at the top, not the bottom.
Yeah.
Because if you move through all those patterns and all that stuff, and then both of you get to a point where you can look each other in the eyes and say, that's it. Mm. Then it's no different than your son at the park, right? He finds a kid to play with. They make a sacred contract to swing and throw sand and do X, Y, and Z. And when it's over and that kid's mom and dad come and say, it's time to go, they look at each other and go, namaste. Mm. Thank you. It was fun.
Yeah.
Right? Time is in some ways an illusion. Kids know it. They're so tuned in and tapped in that they don't get attached to this needs to be 20 years.
Yeah.
If we're gonna swing together, it has to be 20 years of swinging together, right?
Yeah.
Instead, they go, oh, bro, whatever it is, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And chaos theory says that if you pull far enough back from anything, you can see the fundamental order of the whole thing. Mm. And so when we sign up and do these sacred contracts with each other, they do end.
Yeah.
One of us will die. One of us will break up with the other. We'll have whatever it is, they will end.
Yeah.
The question is are you ending it from the healthiest aligned version of yourself, or are you ending it from the wound and running? Because if you run, it's okay. Mm. It's okay if you run. I've ran in the past.
Yeah.
But whatever you run from will chase you.
Yeah. Facts. Mm-hmm. So I want to take this same context,
yes,
different topic.
Yes.
I want to talk into finances and money a bit, because one thing that I constantly see, especially in the coaching industry, especially in consulting, marketing, anything that's online based pretty much these days, is like everyone expects that, oh my God, I'm going to be so rich and I'm going to have all these things and I'm going to do all the stuff. And then what often happens is they come into it with an expectation only to feel like they're let down and to go back to the thing that they were running from. So this is where it chases you. Why is it that you believe that some coaches, some people who do what we do become incredibly successful at it and some people don't?
Yeah, this is huge. I think that oftentimes we confuse the internal conversation. So I'll start with my truth is that we are threefold beings: body, mind, and soul. Soul knows. Soul holds the blueprint. Soul understands. Body sometimes dances between soul and mind. Body also can experience trauma and things of that nature, and it can become dense. Now, there is in my opinion, a voice that is beyond the one that we currently listen to often, right? There's the voice that's commenting, oh my God, that's a beautiful dress. Oh my God, look at my rolls. Oh my God, X, Y, and Z, right?
He's referring to me earlier, by the way.
There's the voice, which is often informed by the collective consciousness, the media, and the soup that we grew up in. And then there's the consciousness that witnesses the voice. Oftentimes, people will listen to the voice that has been informed by the media and the beliefs and interpretations of their religion, their family, the dynamics of that family, and they will imprint from that voice onto the soul and the body and say, here's where we're going. And what they don't get is the universe doesn't give one shit.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't give a fuck. So sometimes the voice will say, we're going to go do this thing. And to the ego, they go, oh, we're doing this thing because we're going to be rich and we're going to be like these people and we're going to do this and we're going to X, Y, and Z. And the imagination goes wild. What they don't understand is what the overarching dharma is for their life. And so they will mistake what's getting them going for the destination when the soul and the great knower says, oh, no, that's just a pit stop. You're just stopping by coaching. You think you think coaching's for you. You think it's for your business. It's for you as a human. You think it's for you to make money and be popular and finally prove to the people who called you fat or a faggot or the people who bullied you or the person who molested you or your sister who was prettier or X, Y, and Z. You think it's about that. It's a pit stop. You're into this thing to relook and rethink what you've believed. Once we get you there, then you can go back to that other job or do X, Y, and Z. Like they confuse the voice and what the voice is telling them for their ultimate, like, this is the destination. It's not.
Yeah.
It's just a part of it. So this is a part of why, and this goes back to what you asked me earlier. You're like, hey, you can just switch shit up all the time. It's because I know that ultimately I'm living in my purpose when I'm of service.
Yep.
How that interacts with the world can be 50,000 different ways. I'm not attached to that. Yep. People get in trouble when they get attached. We talk about this in the bridge and in our work. Nervous system is everything. the people who end up having successful careers, even those things can end, right? We can have a talk with you 10 years from right now and you be doing something completely different. But it still would have been a successful career. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is a relaxed nervous system, an abundant mindset. Because those two go hand in hand. If I'm relaxed, if my nervous system is relaxed, my body's relaxed, my jaw's relaxed, my butthole's relaxed, and I go do, Instagram videos and X, Y, and Z and do this stuff, what I'm saying, the signal to the universe, because remember, the universe does not speak English. It speaks frequency. So the signal that I'm sending is, yes, this is my natural state. Yeah. This is my natural state. You see how relaxed I am? What most people do is they're like a duck, right? Up top, they're like, see how relaxed I am? Everything's good. I swear it's good. I just need to make sure that I get this client. And underneath the water, the little motherfucking feet are just going crazy because they are not actually relaxed. They're not relaxed because they don't believe that it's actually theirs. They're not relaxed because the voice of the ego mind intoxicated them. Yeah. That's not what they're actually here for. Not fully, right? The cool thing about me is I got in this when there was zero money. 2005 to 2013, I basically made nothing. That's
I love that you're so honest about it.
That's a long time to make nothing.
Well, you know what they say, right? The person who will succeed the most is the person who can hold the intention the longest without reward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Manifestation occurs when you're good with or without it.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing. I already knew I was dope before all the money and cars and all that stuff happened. Yeah. Because I knew what I was doing behind the scenes. I knew who I was being. In my circle of influence, everybody in LA and in the surfing, modeling, skateboarding, all those kind of scenes, even the people at the coffee shops, they'd be like, yo, that dude is a beautiful. People would come up to me and be like, hey man, I saw your post on Facebook. This is, back in the day when it was only Facebook. Yeah. Right? I saw your post on Facebook. Or they'd say, when I started my YouTube channel, I get messages from the Netherlands and different places, and they'd be like, whatever you're doing, whatever work you're doing behind the scenes, it's touching me. Yeah. I wasn't getting zero money from any of that. I was just doing it as art and give back. And to me, the invitation for everybody who's wanting to build a business, especially in the coaching world and things of that nature, is to intentionally create from the space of family and overflow. Everything I make is from family and overflow. Well, yeah, you only have to look at the result of that, right? You can see that it's actually produced that as well. The intention produces the outcome. That. Right? And you got me thinking, my entire family has almost worked with you now, through the work that we've done. And it's so powerful when you see what can happen with someone who's okay, I'm here for it and I'm willing to do the work. Yeah. And, I think there's a big misconception because a lot of people think that I have to get into this work. And then because I'm now in this work, I have to become a coach. That. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that? Again, my overarching philosophy is there's no mistakes in God. Yeah. Right? I've looked at 20 billion different things and been like, maybe I should become a race car driver. Maybe my mind does that too. Yeah. And we can get intoxicated by the top layer of anything. Yeah. When you start to understand at what cost, people don't understand the cost that's associated. Nothing in life is quote unquote free. Yeah. It all costs. It costs time, costs energy, costs money, costs sacrificing certain things. Right? One of the beautiful, unintended, beautiful, dope consequences of being in positions like myself and yourself is I don't get to be like a regular person. I don't get to I just can't be like, oh yeah, let's just go do some math this weekend, bro. And then I'll just go make a video after. It's congruence. Yeah. And so people don't understand, okay, do you understand what you're signing up for?
I say it all the time to my clients. I'm like, that if they're just starting out or something,
Yeah.
I'm like, you do realize you're walking into an industry that it's not about like
Yes.
just the client. All your shit's going to come up and there's
Yes.
nothing you can hide from.
That.
That's the byproduct of being a coach.
That.
Yeah.
That. So, I mean, coaching is awesome and it's beautiful and it's super lucrative and you nailed it. I forgot I did that, but the moment you brought it up, I have an entire world and life because of this career, because of this industry. And I'm super grateful for the internet because without it, I would have been probably not here.
Yeah.
Is almost like lightning struck because I can tell you, I'm gonna go old school here. When I started, there was only like white dudes with suits on, and they, you know,
Like Jim Rohn and
yes,
all
exactly,
that. Yeah.
Zig Ziglar, all that whole crew, and Tony Robbins and all those people, and they are like white dudes with suits on. Or Marianne Williamson, right? She writes a big book, and there's gatekeepers. You can't just get in. You could not get in to coaching back in the day. So, and then there was 2 to 3 people who were in between. They were in the middle. I can name them right now. They're still doing awesome. Coot Blackston, Gabrielle Bernstein, and this woman named Tiffany Peterson are the 3 that I can. Oh, Christine Hasler.
Yeah.
Right. And Christine, all of them were like in between. They're all like about 3 to 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
So they were in the in between. So there's like Jack Canfield and all that crew who are like 68 right now or 70 or 89 right now. And then big jump all the way to like this other crew and then one crew under that, me.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them were not internet savvy because it didn't even exist. That's not how they made their money. That's not how they got. But because I came in right at the perfect time where the internet started to be like, oh, maybe this can happen.
Yeah.
Right? You know what? A prime example also, and this is not me talking crap or anything like that, but when I came in, you know, I was doing my thing for quite a while. And then this dude named Prince EA popped up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen him.
Awesome human being, dope human being, right? He popped up, became super popular, X, Y, and Z, and then poof.
Yeah, I haven't seen his stuff for years.
He's still there, but he's playing a different game.
Right. Yeah.
I have seen that happen
Yeah.
so many times, and yet I'm still here. And again, divine timing, God's time, universe's time, trust that it's working out for you. That's the thing that goes with the relaxed nervous system, relaxed butthole, relaxed jaw. When you trust, right? Like last year was probably the least amount of money I had made in my coaching career in 10 years.
Wow.
Last year, while I'm writing a book on abundance called Spiritual Millionaire, everything went down.
Because you were like acclimating, right?
Yes, I was switching up my entire thing. And things come at a cost.
Yeah.
The only way I got in trouble ever was when I started operating from a myopic viewpoint. Like, oh, I'm not making as much money right now. But if I could, and which I did often, if I could open up that viewfinder and go, but what's being set up? Where are you going?
Oh my God, you coached me on this like last week.
Yes.
I was like, I've made $100,000 less this year.
Yes.
And you're like, but still, have you made money? I'm like, yeah, I've still made money. And you're like, what's being set up?
That.
Yeah.
I've had enough experience. We all have, if you really look, to know that there's something deeper and bigger. And if you trust that what's handwritten on your soul and the order you placed with the universe, if you trust that that thing has never and will never make a mistake, then you understand that what seems like a setback, right? What seems like this isn't working out, that caterpillar definitely, once I'm sure it got to a certain process where shit starts melting, that caterpillar's like, homie, hold on. Let me just go back. All right, look, we good. All right, whatever's on the other side, I don't know if I need to go because I'm making less money right now. And let me just, and yet the caterpillar says, no, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm going to die. I don't know what's going to happen on the other side. And then poof, that little motherfucker comes out and just like.
But that's the thing too with the cocoon, right? It looks like nothing's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know, and you're like to me, how many times you launched this year? I'm like, once.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, exactly. Like you've been in here, and the same with you. Like when you guys were moving, you were creating so much. Like, and I was behind the scenes with you, what you were creating, because you were like, here, I want you guys to come take bridge. I want you to do this. And so you're training us on like, what does that next level look like for you? And so from the front, it can be like, well, the logic mind, I should say, like, oh, the money's not lining up.
Yes.
But what that creates.
Yes.
So big. Now, I'm mindful of time.
Yes.
You've given me a time frame.
Yes. Yes.
We've got approximately 18 minutes.
Yes.
So I want to go like kind of like, I don't know if you'd call it rapid fire, but also want you to hit it with whatever is necessary.
Yes.
What is the biggest thing that you believe blocks people from actually receiving abundance? And I don't mean just financially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean like the life that they actually think that they want. And when I say think that they want, you know exactly what I mean by that. What do you think blocks it?
The fight with the invisible opponent that they've been operating from since childhood. Yep. Because it deters them. And I'll just give a little definition. One of the things I teach and have been teaching for a long time is all of us have an invisible opponent. Somebody who we're trying to beat, somebody who we're trying to prove to, somebody who we're trying to be better than. And as long as we're doing it from that space, whoever is on the other side of that owns us. Yeah. And it's not bad or wrong, because sometimes those invisible opponents get us going. Mine was my dad. At 13 years old, my dad went to jail briefly. And I found out that he had been buying crack cocaine from some of my classmates in junior high school. And in that moment, a part of me died, and I said, I'll be better than him, period. And I've been competing unconsciously with my dad since 13. And so what blocks people from the abundance, the abundant life, and like really truly owning and being all in on whatever is the idea that I need to get somewhere and I need to prove something.
Yeah. I want to caveat on that too, because I know when we discovered mine was my mum, and it wasn't from a place of any like, you did it wrong. It was from a place of like, I want to show you how to do it better. And so it was almost like this, like it became such an egoic thing for me of like, you get to have it all. Like, come on, just see it. And it wasn't actually allowing me to receive it either.
Yes. That. Yep.
It's so big. Now, for the women who are like sitting there and they're like, well, I'm doing all the work and right now business feels stretchy as fuck, because this is a common thing that I see in my world, right? They're like, they've got like, they might be like hitting like, 15K months and they're sitting there and they're like, it's good, but I'm here to get it. Like I'm fucking struggling. Like, and they're the breadwinner, partner's over here. They're like trying to pull from him. Like, one thing that I often see with that, and this was a pattern that I had for many years, as you know, you helped me work through this, but it's like, what is their thing? And I would love for you to hear it from a man, because what I learned was I'm never going to get it from him until I'm here, until I'm available for him to actually penetrate me, and not just physically, but emotionally. From a male's perspective, what does she need? Not so much like what does she need from him, but like what do you see being the biggest part of this, of what she's not willing to see yet within herself?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people, but I'll speak specifically to women, miss that their partner is a direct manifestation of the consciousness that they are in. And if they would like their partner to be different, then they need to rewrite themselves, the story about themselves and the story about their partner. And there's a hierarchical one-up position when somebody feels like they're the breadwinner or they're the ones doing personal development, where they go, like I'm better than him, right? And they put their chin up. Right?
I'm laughing because when you pointed, it was like about maybe 18 months ago, you were like, and I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
That was like some of my biggest work.
So relinquishing the part of you that thinks you're better than your partner, to me is like one of the biggest steps in going, oh, but what magic does this person bring to my life? And what, maybe they're not into self-development the way that I am, but wow, he goes and plays AFL or footy or whatever it is every weekend with his friends. I don't even have any friends, right? That dude laughs so hard and gets into sports and gets into whatever, and he throws our kids and he does X, Y, and Z. And I'm over here serious as fuck, mad about everything, stressed out about everything. And yet I'm on my high horse saying I'm better than him. You're not.
He's freer.
He's freer. So the work is to go, well, what does my partner bring? And I tell women this all the time. When you celebrate a man for anything multiple times, he starts to make an association that goes, just like we open up Instagram, we open it up for the association and the dopamine hit. Well, if he starts to have an association with you celebrating things that you desire and like and see him doing, he will do 10 times more of that thing. If you just say, baby, I saw what you did there. Thank you for washing the dishes. That meant so much. I'm gonna suck your dick tonight. Right? Like, whatever, not that, right? But
it's a massive checkbox.
But maybe, right? Or like, hey, thank you for covering me and picking up the kids. I have so much going on. I just want you to know that I see you trying your hardest to take care of me and the family.
Yeah.
Like a dude will do 50 times more with just a little bit of appreciation. We get so high on it. Right? They often say that women are often checking for safety and connection, and men are checking for freedom and appreciation, praise. And I find that to be very true.
Yeah.
There's not like, you can go further and further and further, and the dude was just be like, And, I'm about to piss some people off. Some women withhold their love. Let's call it unconsciously.
Yeah.
But they don't want their partners to get that love from anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I think that's really messed up. Ladies, hear me. I've watched 20,000 times women get together and they like compliment each other. Oh my God, your dress. Oh my God, your hair. Oh, you're so pretty. Or like, oh my God, girl, give me a hug. All the things, right? And they love on each other and they touch each other. I'm telling you, when dudes get together, we never touch each other. There's almost no complimenting. There's almost no rubbing each other's face. Oh my God, it's going to be okay. There's none of that.
Yeah.
So that feminine aspect, we are at zero if you don't bring it. Or that man will then go find another woman to get that need met because he can't beat his biology. And those same women will love the dog crap out of their sons, but withhold from their partners.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means he's at zero. How long you want him to be at zero? How long do you think anybody can last? You want him to go 20 years at zero? You want him to go 40 years at zero? You think that man's not going to resent you and hate you? Because you said you married him and you loved him and you'd to death do his part, and yet you withhold your love because he's not jumping through the right hoops?
Yeah.
The fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
Right? Like that's, to me, oh man, I'm about to go off. Okay. I'm in men's groups and all that stuff. And there's this whole conversation about the dark side of women and how there's this, because we get it, right? There's this whole conversation. Dudes are stupid. Dudes are this, dudes are that. Men, they messed everything up. The patriarchy has destroyed life, X, Y, and Z. And yet there's this thing that's opened up, especially in the self-development space, where some women, hear this caveat, some women feel entitled to just rage out and withhold love and just destroy their person in the name of like, I'm just like processing. No, you're just hurting. You're hurting someone because you're hurt. And we have to understand we're in this thing together. And every human, if they could do better, they would, for the most part.
It's funny that you say that. I've been that woman who's done that. And the one thing that I've learned, especially over these last few months, rather than like whenever we have an argument now, we try and literally be touching.
Mm-hmm.
I know this sounds so weird, but
Good.
like he's so available for me when
Yeah.
we're having hard conversations. If there's a connection point,
Yes.
he'll stay with me. He'll be
Yes.
emotionally available. And it's not sexually.
Yes.
It's literally, it can be our knees touching.
Yes.
And, you know, he literally said to me maybe 2 months ago, I was like, I need to talk to you about this. And I was sitting on one side of the couch and he was sitting on the other side of the couch. He's like, I won't talk to you while you're like that over there.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you know I need to be touching you.
Yes.
And I was like, the fuck's this guy need to be touching me for? Like I was in my rage. I was just like, no. I was like, I'm talking to you calmly. Why are you not getting it?
Yes.
And he's like, but it still feels like there's a wall.
Yes.
And the minute we touch, I feel your heart.
Yeah.
And it was like such a mic drop moment for me because I was like, oh, because I can't hide from him when he's physically touching me.
Correct. What most couples do, and we've been guilty of this, I've been guilty of it, Alexi's been guilty of it, is when you start to argue, you stop connecting.
Yeah.
So we'll be like, no, but like for real though, like if you would have done X, then Y would have happened, and you lose the connection, right? And so that's some of our biggest work too, is to go, oh, let me face you, let me get here with you, and open, right? To me, the most powerful move in relationship is re-entering the room after you've left it emotionally, physically, like all the things, because we're gonna leave. If you're in the right relationship, it will destroy you in such a way that you will want to run. But when you walk back in the room, that's when you get to hang your hat and say, I'm proud of me.
Yeah.
Because most of our parents did not do that.
100%.
They walked out of that room and they kept walking and they kept walking and they kept walking. And even if they stayed in the marriage for 20 years, and then as soon as we, went to college, they divorced or whatever the case may be, they never came back, truly.
Yeah.
Right. So I just want to say I'm proud of you and anybody else who's doing the work, right? I don't mean to offend. There is an awakening that needs to occur and a reckoning of responsibility. Because again, and you guys are a prime example. I would say that you're more intellectual than your husband, your partner, right? Most women are. Alexi is.
Oh yeah, we like to talk it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that can feel like bullying to a man.
Oh yeah, he always, if I do that, like I've learned not to do that.
Yes.
But if I ever get into that space, he's like, don't attack me.
Correct.
That's immediately where his body
Because
goes.
you're taking every angle, right? And then sometimes women will be like, in 1947, you said this. And in 1923, you did this. And 4 days ago, you looked up to the left and to the right. And I know that what you really meant was you don't love me. And the dude will be like, he's stuck. Like, wait, what am I supposed to pull here? Like,
yeah.
Right? And we feel ganged up on and like, hold on. Like, do I even have a say so here? Or am I just guilty straight out the gate? Right?
Yeah.
It's tricky. It's tricky. I think God is crazy because we're so different. Like, why would it do that?
Yeah.
But it's awesome too.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I think too, like there's an element of like, if you're actually really honest with yourself, like there's a reason why you chose that person. Like what was the yes?
Yes.
And that's the thing that I keep coming back to. And there's a part of me right now, he's building this program and it's called the Peaceful Warriors Code. And that for me, that's what I call him. I'm always like, you're my peaceful warrior. And so it's like seeing him really take that on. It's like the more you lift them up, the more they own that peace.
Facts.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff that he's going to step into 12 years from right now that you're going to be blown away by.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's what got you in the relationship, but there's also, you don't understand, most people don't understand what they also signed up for. Yeah. What I was initially attracted to from Alexi is now like scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like the top, 1 being the very bottom. What I got into the relationship with her for is now like a 4. There's something completely different that makes me love and attract and want and all the things and desire. Completely different. You just did a session with her. And that thing she did in that session and how you got, that's new.
Yeah.
She wasn't like that 7 years ago. That's new.
I know. I literally walked out of a session one day with her and I said to her, man, I was like, I'll turn lesbian for that.
Yes,
yes. There is something
awesome.
so alive.
I didn't know that was coming, but I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
She didn't know. Like she met me, I was broke.
Yeah.
Once we started having babies, I put the whole thing on my back.
Yeah.
I took me, but us.
Yeah.
from not much to millions,
Yeah.
right?
That's the king ignited because of the responsibility, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
She didn't know that she was signing up for that too. But at some level she did, right?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't like that when we met.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd love to just hear quickly, I'm mindful of time. If you can do this in like 30 seconds, that would be great.
Yep.
When a man accesses that responsibility piece for him, what happens?
It's like a key going into a perfect lock. It just like unlocks an entire other door and like world.
Yeah.
Where he goes, oh, there's a whole nother adventure here.
Mm.
And it feels like a dog barking and a cat hissing. It feels like that's true for me.
Mm.
And a lot of men grow up and are raised by well-intentioned mothers who do their best to try to make those little boys a little girl.
Yeah.
And so when a man accesses his man and he goes, and that door opens, he's like, oh my God, that's a whole nother lane and world for me to step into. And then they get hungry for it. Right.
And it turns women on like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Now, obviously, I'm coming up to my 18 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You got 2 minutes left.
Yes.
And I know you're going to go on a rampage with this question. One of my favorite questions to ask my guests here is, if this were the last time that anyone were to ever hear you speak, and your words were to permeate their soul in a way that had everlasting, whatever you want to call it, what would you say?
All you need is love. Dun, 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 dun. All you need is love. Yes, I would say that. I would say love is the answer. Love is all there is, was, and ever will be. We're operating in it. We're swimming in it. Love is an intention. Love is the air we breathe. Love is all. And we come from it and we will return to it when we no longer have these bodies. And so our job is just to ride the wave that we're riding. Love what is, like we rode it in eternity. And the rest will take care of itself. We are like sacred, beautiful little ants in our ant mounds. And one day, somebody's going to step on our mound. One day, something's going to happen and we'll rebuild another mound. And the fires of LA and the this of Australia and then this of that will occur. But the ants and the spirit of the ants, the spirit of the human, the spirit of the eternal being will remain. No matter how dark it gets. There is a part of us that has never been hurt, harmed, or endangered. Your job is to find that light, remember that light, and pull on it until it opens and opens and opens, and you become and allow yourself to be a beacon, a vessel, a lighthouse on a dark night for those who don't remember who and what they are, which is a unique emanation of the Most High.
Well, you always have a way of hitting me. Thank you.
Yes.
Not only for today, but for everything that you've created with me and with life. You know, I think I've impacted a lot of women from the work that we've done. And, you know, you've been my main mentor for nearly a decade now, and it's been huge. So I just want to, from the absolute bottom of my heart, thank you for the man that you are.
I received that. I'm proud of you. So proud of you. I saw it from the gate.
Even when you pulled me out in front of 130 people. Like, who are you leading?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. And for those of you who are listening, we're in Austin in like a week teaching bridge. I'm here supporting Preston right now with it, Preston and Alexi, and they're going to be coming back to Australia in January. So we're lining up for that as well. There's another one in July
and October in Austin.
Yeah. So there's a really big calling for this work. And I personally, I'm signing up to, you know, help share this message and across the world. But there's a reason why I'm here where I am. And it was because of that workshop. It changed my absolute life. And thank you.
Yes. Yes. Come to Bridge. www.thebridgemethod.org.
I love that you remembered that. Thank you so much for being here.
Embodied.